Wait. Live.
All right. Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning, world. Good morning, Ryan and Felipe and Adobe Creative Cloud. Oh, wait, that's kind of like us today.
Yes.
Paul Trani here.
We're in the cloud.
Matt D. Smith in the house, everybody.
Right. Day 3.
Day 3. Usually, all days are fun, but especially today because, it's just, we're just, worked out all the kinks, and we'll throw some more in the mix using you guys here. But essentially, just quick couple things since we're just starting. Rob, Dinesh, Powell, good to see you guys. Essentially, just make sure you hit subscribe because that's how you get notified, and that increases your chances for the giveaways that we have around, say, Creative Cloud and other swag, if you will. So it's pretty awesome. We also do have a contest, so just make sure on adobelive.com, but in the lower right, you'll see a little contest tab. You can kind of learn about that. And actually, let's just roll tape on that if we could. Welcome, and this is your chance to create a prototype for a chance to win a 1-year Creative Cloud membership. To enter, create a prototype using Adobe XD, and the theme is solving the problem of holiday planning. So maybe it's a present tracker or just tracking various holidays throughout the year. It's really up to you. Just submit the prototype to Twitter using the hashtag Adobe Live. We're going to be watching that hashtag. We'll be reviewing these live and picking winners. So we look forward to seeing what you create. All right, welcome back, everyone. Yes, so you guys get the idea. Everything's right there. In case you missed some of that, in the lower right, there's a tab. You can learn about how to make basically make a prototype around holiday planning, which could interpret that however you want, whether it's a checklist or keeping track of the holidays, keeping track of this guy during the holidays, because he has a wife and 4 kids, and took some time out of his precious schedule to join us. So
Very precious schedule.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it with anyone else.
Thanks, man.
Paul.
See, that's what's going to happen today. We're all just going to get a little emotional after a while.
Yeah, I was crying earlier.
We have Matt.
People in the chat are getting emotional. They're sad it's the last day.
Getting choked up. Amelie Lamont. Did I do a good job?
That was great.
It's coming on at 11. Talon Wadsworth actually is on the Adobe XD team, since that's kind of what we're talking about today, as well as user experience, UI, UX stuff today. Digital telepathy with Clyde and Ryan. Claude. Did I say Clyde? Cloud. Creative Cloud will be here this afternoon, so that's pretty cool. So that's what's going on, guys. I don't want to take away from your time because you really, in terms of just number of screens, you win.
Well, to be fair, I have about 2 screens designed, and then I've reused them. It's all about efficiency, Paul.
Yeah, I like it.
And I've got a question here. Who is Kimmy Rakkonen? Did you see that? Someone says Matt looks like Kimmy Rakkonen.
Kimmy Rakkonen.
Just curious. I don't know. Just,
Oh, he's a Formula 1 pilot.
Oh, very interesting.
Right.
Pilot or driver?
A driver.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Hey.
Race car driver.
Yeah.
He is a champion.
All right, so while we are looking up what Kimmy Rakkonen looks like, I'm going to get started on where I left off with the sandwich app. So in the first couple of days, we just kind of looked at the basic flows for building this thing. I'm going to launch this prototype. This URL should still be, I'm going to go ahead and hit update, but the same URL from yesterday should be live. I don't know if Paul wants to put it in the chat so people who didn't see it yesterday could click on it today and get a chance to play around with it. So we're going to build a sandwich, choosing our bread. We went in one direction with a skip button, and then we kind of backtracked based on our own quick prototype and user testing. And looks like things are still somewhat in order. Got a little placeholder. Congrats, you've built a sandwich screen. Just because going into the full flow of the map and choosing location, while important, I think it would be more beneficial to see, okay, we've got part of the prototype done. Why don't we move into visual design today? So I'm going to take some time and kind of walk through how I get started doing the UI for the design that we've kind of already proved and fleshed out.
Cool. And that is version 2, correct?
This is version 2.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to post the link to the chat right now.
All right. Hello, everyone. Poland, Bangladesh, India, Israel, Spain, Germany, Russia.
Yes,
France.
we love hearing where you guys
Yes.
are from, by the way. So
Very
thank you
cool.
for that.
New Yorker from Dominican Republic, Carol. Paul Trani joining
Calgary.
us live from right beside our chair. There we go.
Here we are in beautiful and rainy San Francisco.
Yes.
It's been raining the past couple days, but kind of just adds to the
Very rainy.
whole ambiance of the city. It's
Yes.
kind of cool. Italy in the house.
89 QWERTY. Yes, UI design does fall under the digital design umbrella.
And that's kind of what we're getting into today.
Yeah, so it's always kind of weird to draw a very sharp distinction between UX and UI design. It's very much the same thing. I would say UI, focuses more on the details of the colors, the typography, but you can't really separate them that much, and so it all kind of falls under the digital design umbrella. If you're designing something for a screen, you're in the digital design umbrella. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at my folders here from the files that I have. I've got my Adobe Live folder, San Fran Witch Co. And I've got my design files and my XD files. So I've got these two documents. The version 0.1 had this like no condiments, no toppings button, and we kind of trashed that and went on to version 2, which is our latest and greatest UX document. But one thing I like to do just to kind of keep things nice and tidy is put a little archive folder with an underscore in my document, so I can just move the older stuff into the archive folder, and that way my latest and greatest working file is always kind of right there and visible. And I would never want to throw that away because I might want to go back and get that, especially if you've done a lot of work and have taken a different direction. So what I'm going to do now, I don't want to get rid of my UX file in favor of a new user interface file. So I'm going to copy this thing and see if I can just option drag and rename. I've got my client initials, and I'm going to call this UI instead of UX, and this is going to be version 0.1. And actually, before I get too far into like actual user interface, I'm going to call this an element collage and show you what I mean by that. Sometimes kind of working on a collage out of the context of the interface, like pulling in reference material, pulling in typography, colors, kind of some stock photos, just kind of getting a feel for how things could look and feel without getting straight into a user interface. So that's what I'm going to get started on first. So I'm going to open up the same file. It's going to have all of this same stuff, but now I'm going to confidently delete a lot of this, these extra screens that I can still grab from my older file.
Oh, that's good. So this is kind of like, it's like design boards, or not
Yeah,
quite. It could be mood boards.
It's like a mood board. It's like I've called it a UI map. You're just kind of seeing what you got working with. Now I have been thinking about the design of this app, and I've been playing around with this typeface. I thought I was already signed into this. Let me do it real quick. Okay, so I like to think about typeface selection before I'm getting started. And so if this is, this would really tie into the branding of the company. But since we have this fictitious company, it doesn't really have a good brand yet. So I'm gonna just kind of make it up on the fly. But I kind of wanted to play with like a really fat, meaty font to kind of play with the meatiness of the sandwich.
I like it.
Big display typeface. So I just logged into Typekit here, Adobe Typekit. I'm gonna look for like I kind of already know the one I want to use, but I'm just gonna get
What
in
is
here.
it? Because we're all gonna like silently or not so silently judge you based on your font.
Yeah,
like,
I will reveal it in a
I have
moment.
favorites too. This is fun. I think
So
this
the
is
one I want to use is called Fat Frank,
Fat Frank.
and it's got okay. I might have Maybe it's one word. Yes, one word.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and it's like it's casual, you know, and it does have that sort of meaty look to it.
Very
definitely.
very meaty. And
Yeah,
so
it's like chill and
San Fran
Witch
Co. Might even do a little logo type out of it or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, look at that.
That's dope.
I mean, that's our logo right there already.
Done.
I'm just checking out the chat here. How do you create a symbol on XD? Command K. Or you can also go to Object, make a symbol. Waiting. Comic Sans, also a good choice. If you want your app to be silly. Okay, so I already have this font synced to my account, but if you didn't have it synced, you could just hit the sync button over there. Another thing you want to do when you're picking a typeface is check out the availability. So this is, you can use it on the web and you can sync it to the desktop. Not all faces in Typekit are available on the desktop, and you would also want to check, you know, if this is going to be in a native mobile app, you need to check with the type designer, do they offer an app license? And how much is that app license? And is the client willing to pay for that app license? And so a lot of times it's not easy to broach the subject of, hey, would you like to pay, you know, $800 to use this type license in your app? But, you know, if you play around with it, you know, like, you don't have to make the decision and purchase it right away, but it's always, you always want to make sure you don't design too much before you get into the weeds.
What font have you been using in your app so far, just for the text?
I've been using San Francisco SFUI, which is the default Apple font.
Cool.
And
the default
you can
Apple
download that from
font.
developer.apple.com or something like that. Okay, so I've got Fat Frank. You know, I haven't actually used Fat Frank in the app, so it may not work very well, but I'm going to go with it. So let's just get a little, I'm going to draw an artboard over here, and we're going to go San Fran, which co-initials, try out some, where are you, Fat Frank? Frank, come on, don't fail me, Fat Frank.
Here, let me double check.
He is missing from my,
Is he, did you have him synced?
let's double check our
Yeah, you can even go
fonts. Fat Frank is indeed synced. Sync files from Typekit. Okay.
You restart.
All right, let's. Paul's going to tell a joke while I restart XD.
Yeah, let's, can you share my screen real fast? And, because we're also going to get into basically sort of images too today, just real fast. But I want to answer a question that actually Ryan had in masking, since you're restarting now.
Yes.
I just drew this shape. It's on top of this this image. If I select the two, I can mask with shape. When I do that, I actually have control to jump inside and kind of move the shape, or excuse me, the image around, as well as the shape on top of it. So hopefully that kind of answers your questions, since we're getting into imagery and actually getting into sort of making a splash screen, right? Is that kind of what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, we need to do that.
You're like, yeah, we need to do that. Don't remind me. So anyway, so there's that. I actually have Fat Frank on my system. Let me just double check to see if it's in here too.
All right, I'm getting it in here. A restart of XD did the trick. You can always just unplug, plug back in.
You know, computers and stuff.
You know, all the bits and pieces sometimes get a little confused. All right. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. Brandwich Co. I think I kind of want to make a little quick, tiny logo to kind of go in the header. Just gonna rough something in real quick. you always kind of want to, with your typography and your logo types, you want to give a little bit of the, you don't want it quite lined up on the edge of the rounded shapes, because visually it looks like they're a little less, or they're a little more wide than the straight edges. So I'm going to try to get that thing right in there. The rest of the font is kind of rounded corners, so I'm going to round the corners of this a little bit, maybe like 0.5.
I like what you're doing
maybe
there.
0.25.
I like what you're doing. It's nice. See, you're just kind of curving that, basically adjusting those curves based on the font, right? How each one has a little curve to it.
Yes. So let me. It looks pretty decent for now. It's good enough. I will group that stuff. And let me steal this title bar here. Don't want it to say home. I want it to say San Francisco. Send that to the back. And I don't want to work on one artboard individually, because then it kind of gets me in the mindset of designing that screen, and I don't really want to design a screen right now. I want to design the ingredients that will create the screen first. I want to be able to quickly explore without feeling like, oh, this screen design sucks, this is no good, I got to start all over. If I just kind of keep it out of context for a little while, it helps to keep the creative juices flowing. And so I'm kind of thinking, maybe since this is sandwich, that W is ugly, it's so heavy. Are you kidding me? Look at that W, it's so good. It has actually maybe a kind of wide, but you know, this is not a logo design.
These are big, juicy, delicious sandwiches.
We could probably, I mean, it could use some love. If anybody wants to design a better SFW co, feel free to do that. Post it later on Adobe Live hashtag.
Yes, I'll be watching that hashtag, guys. I'm actually working on something right now, too.
Oh, there we go.
Based on that, which I actually really dig that. I like how you did the underline. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. So, yeah.
I'm thinking that, like, because this
Carol
is... Okay, we got a question? Here we go.
I think we're pretty good.
Carol likes it. I think I wanna play, like, just because of bread, the crust, the meat. I'm kind of thinking like a warm color scheme. So I'm gonna start playing with some like warm grays for maybe a background. The way you can do that is looking at if you're in the red spectrum, you can go red into the orange, but then you can also kind of play around with some colors in there.
Yeah, just kind of warm it up, make it feel kind of
warm it up a bit, give it a little bit
toasty.
of a toasty crispness to it. Maybe some burnt edges.
I love it.
Get a little crunch going. Let's remove this shadow. And maybe, so I'm going to do a couple of different versions of these. Maybe one with a dark brown kind of header. Let's see. And sometimes it's not like always great to just kind of randomly grab a bunch of colors out of the color picker. Sometimes you can. What was that thing Talon was working on the other day with the color pickers? It was a bunch of different palettes. That was Adobe Colors.adobe or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's color.adobe.com for picking colors. He was redesigning a recolor artwork feature. So that was his sort of UI challenge. And just so you guys know, and Solobama knows, we've been doing sort of the UI design and the flow of it, and now we're finally getting to, you know, bringing it to life with some color and some slight imagery.
And so now I need to make myself a white status bar. This one is a symbol, so I don't want to recreate, I don't want to override that symbol, because if I still want to use a dark one somewhere, so I'm going to ungroup this stuff and make these things lighter.
So feel free, guys, if you want to submit a logo, we will check it out. Maybe it'll end up in the interface. and you'll make lots of money. Just kidding. There's no money involved. We're just happy you guys are here. And to answer the question earlier, these are available as recordings. If you're on adobelive.com, if you look at the lower right, you can see the replays. You can go back to see what we've done the past 2 days, as well as the other sessions. And then you can always actually rewind this actual video, which is cool. Traveling forward and back in time. It's amazing technology.
So maybe this would be like a... So I'm just quickly kind of experimenting with a few different options here. Another thing to think about is like your primary call to action. You know, sometimes it's tempting to use like the primary brand color as the primary call to action, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if the entire title bar and a lot of the colors are red or orange, like if that's the primary color, if you try to make that button the primary color as well, it just blends in. And so you really want your primary UI call to action to stand out from everything else. And so if you're going to use the brand color, sometimes you need to tone down the rest of the interface so the vibrant brand color can pop out for the call to action.
That's cool. Just kind of checking out some of the colors you guys have been posting, which is good to see. So, yeah, looks like Dinesh has a nice...
oh, yeah?
That's actually kind of like almost like a flesh tone going on there. So, but I like what you have. That's nice. And you might need to, I hate to say it, but like if you, looks like on the stream it's getting a little lost.
You think so? What's getting lost? Oh,
just
yeah.
It looks so good on your...
So, all right, here's what we'll do. We'll bring this over here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see.
Just
a touch darker. Just if you just darken the actual color.
It's hard to see the background.
Or not. You don't have to. I mean, I guess we could post the link. But like that looks more like what you had on your monitor a second ago. That looks...
Yeah, that's going to be hard for me to do.
I know. Hey, whatever you want to do, man. Whatever you want to do.
All right. It doesn't look so washed out on my screen.
Yeah, this looks glorious. And when you post the link, obviously you'll be able to see it in all of its glory.
That's right. All right, so let's bring this over here. What do we have? Build a custom sandwich. So we'll play around with build a custom sandwich. So we might also...
Some people are happy. Carol is really excited that you're getting into some visuals, including lettering.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's interesting as soon as you start to introduce some visuals, just, the amount of opinions and, like, everybody wants to be involved. I'm excited about this. I think the font's, like, spot on.
Nice. So maybe this will be really flat. Maybe I'll have some buttons with shadows. Break the mold of flat design. I know everybody's all giddy about flat design, but sometimes shadows just look good. So we're going to play around with some shadows.
Do it.
Maybe even like a...
you're just doing like this is a button, yeah?
This is a button, yes.
What you could do, let me double check this. I was thinking if you rounded...
And it could be like a big blobby button. You know, the standard in iOS sometimes is like having these big full width buttons, but could even...
Well, I was thinking like if it looks like a sandwich.
Oh, there you go.
Like that. And then the type could be inside of it.
Yes.
Anyways, full of ideas, guys. If you guys have ideas, feel free to go ahead and make something. I am watching on Twitter, #Adobe Live. So I'll keep an eye on that if you guys do want to create anything. If it's show-worthy, which I'm sure we got plenty of talent here. It'd be fun to see what you guys are doing because I can't help but see what he's doing and want to do it myself personally. So there is that. And don't forget about the contest, which you can also enter and basically create a prototype based on the theme, which is holiday planning. So Oh, yes.
Messed up there. Let's see. Just trying to play with a little dimension here. Sometimes if you have like a shadow on a button, you can add a little white pop below it to kind of accentuate it a little bit more. It's kind of hard to see on the screen, but this is a little white bar, so if I make this background a little bit darker, you can see the difference there. Not always, just something to think about. I'm actually going to delete it because I don't like it.
Yes, so the holiday planning contest is still going on. We're here all day today, so you have up till 4 p.m. tonight. And probably before noon, or as soon as we get a breaking point, we will review some of the designs that you guys have submitted. And then that's for 1 year of Creative Cloud, which is everything your heart desires as far as graphic design stuff goes. So let's not go crazy.
All right.
So Ryan, be great if you got a Mac, but also XD is available on Windows 10 as of 2 days ago. So that's kind of why we're doing this.
All right, so I'm starting to get an idea here. I've been playing some Crossy Road lately. Have you ever played that?
Crossroad?
Crossy Road.
Oh,
It's like the new school Frogger kind of game.
Yeah,
and it's not that new,
yeah.
but my kids are really
Yeah,
into it.
totally.
And we play it on the Apple TV because it's kind of like a fun game that my 4-year-old can kind of do, my 9-year-old can do.
Nice.
And it's really like, it's very like blocky and three-dimensional, and this button kind of reminds me of that. So I'm going to go with this kind of blocky.
I like it.
Blocky kind of look with
accent.
this 4-pixel height, little kind of like bevel on things. I don't know if it quite works right here. Sometimes the opacity doesn't work and you need to pick an actual color. Could even put an actual shadow on this thing.
It's fun. It's fun designing. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love it.
Short screen.
Ah, sure.
All right, that's kind of
Here's mine.
fun. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Kind of total takeoff of what you did, but just trying different things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But hey.
Yeah, so when you're designing an iOS app, actually, I've been having Instagram Live going on, but I'm going to cut it off because I need to use my phone.
Sorry, everyone.
Sorry, Instagram Live. See you later. Tune into adobelive.com to actually watch this from the other camera angle. In live video, 0 viewers. Okay, no worries.
Success.
That's right. So can we get the GoPro action going on over here? I want to show a few things here.
Your personal email right now?
Yes.
Is that what we're doing?
Okay, so if you look at like any of these apps that you launch, like Instagram, for example, actually let me close some of these because I need to show you. Like the screen that shows for the split second before the app launches, like this white screen with Instagram logo, that's called the launch image.
The launch image.
Tweetbots, see this launch image before it shows up. So you always need to provide a launch image with your designs because that's what shows up before the app loads. Now, Apple recommends to not use a branded launch image. They recommend that you use like a blank interface so it feels like it's loading faster. So like if you just use just the title bar with the blank background and then the app is halfway there. So,
like even this third one, just for example.
Yes. So
might be a little bit of a no-no.
Yeah, but you know the thing is, when you're just getting started too, like clients want to see their logos on things. So
this would be better if it was just like clean.
It would be better if you had the interface fully designed. Like I think if you go to Facebook.com and you can see the modules are there, and there's kind of like this gradient of like stuff loading. It's just really fast, but it's kind of like placeholder. So someone's going to use this over and over and over to build an app. They don't necessarily need, say I order a sandwich every day. I don't need to see the logo first every day. I'd kind of want to just get in there and order a sandwich. So if speed, again, is one of our main requirements, we may not want to use the branded launch image. It may be a blank piece of interface. But just for fun, we will use a branded image because we're designing stuff. And
yeah, I mean, I know we're getting there, but I can't wait to see some imagery. And I think when you're in the interface, for the most part, you're looking at the images of the items that you're picking.
Yep, absolutely.
So to add images now would be too much in the end.
All right, so we've got this brown color, kind of like got this white, it's like an orangey red. I'm kind of digging this a little bit. Wonder if I should make this logo a little bit different, just so it doesn't compete with the button. Because we will also have screens that have, you know, a color link to go back, and then a big red button here if we do choose that primary action. So if our title is also red, which it could change from screen to screen, we're not going to have the logo on every screen. And actually, that's another thing. Apple doesn't recommend that you put a logo in the title bar. They recommend that you just name the screen. If someone launches the app, you kind of already know what the app is. But there are apps that break that rule. Instagram, for example, always has the logo on the top unless you start scrolling. And these things are good to know. You can read about all of this stuff in the iOS human interface guidelines. And it's good to have this information, especially if you're talking with clients who want to put their logo everywhere. Like, we want it on the launch image. We want it on the app icon. We want it in the title bar. It can get pretty overwhelming quickly, so something to keep in mind.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is that actually a lot of them seem to have the, Twitter, Instagram.
I do love, Twitter is one of my favorite
Slack.
launch images. Like, they have the animation of the bird that kind of comes out, and it's pretty satisfying to watch. Look at that.
Yes.
Like, if you're going to do that makes it more delightful.
And it makes it feel like it's a fast app.
Yeah, and if you wanted to GoPro that animation for the audience, I would not be opposed to that.
Okay. Let me kill it.
Kill the Twitter.
And I can get this action going. It's just like that. So again, I'll just launch Twitter. And it's going to go pretty fast. So let's just check this out.
Look at this subtle bird animation.
And we're into it.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right.
And
I'm gonna change my. You can't really tell how subtle this is. I mean, UI design is definitely all about the subtleties, and I'm gonna launch my XD mobile app too, so I can look at some of this while I'm building it. And I don't have these on an artboard yet, so it's not gonna show up until I do that. So why don't I go ahead? Be fun. 375 by 667. Typically, I would normally explore some more, but we want to make some progress today. So you can see our interface pieces starting to come together a little bit.
Hey, Michael, if you don't mind, we'll switch to GoPro again.
Yes.
So this is super cool. I mean, just being able to see as he's moving this around, because you kind of want to get an idea of how this looks on the device. So you have the Adobe XD app connected via USB.
That's
and
right.
It's fun because it updates in real time. So you kind of have this sitting on your desk as you're working on your laptop.
That's right.
So you can kind of jump over and check it at any time. So
what's also nice too is if you can if you have two monitors. A lot of times when I'm at my office, I work on two monitors, one like a big Thunderbolt display and then this laptop onto the side, and so you can zoom in and design small details while having like 100% preview working, kind of like as you're showing stuff. So that's pretty cool too. I also have a wish list item for Christmas. I found this clamp that clamps onto the side of your computer. monitor and like hold your phone.
Oh, nice.
So you don't have to kind of constantly look down. You could just keep your phone clamped to the side of your.
Nice.
I can't give a good or bad report yet. I haven't used it, but if you're thinking about getting me something for Christmas, you know, by all means. Okay, let's see.
All right, so let's see. Sammy, it's a tutorial on Lynda, but it's easy to intuitive. It's like learning Photoshop. I've done some, if you go on lynda.com, you'll actually find some of my courses on Adobe XD. Ooh. So you might hear the same voice if you're on lynda.com. Whether you like it or not.
The same sultry
like
tones
this.
of Paul Trani.
All right, why don't you just mosey on over there and click that button.
Hey, who's this?
Paul Trani.
Creepy. Oh, look, when he ease you into Adobe XD. Feels good, kind of like a warm hug if you're working on UI stuff. Simple, clean.
No, you'll see. I'm tweaking the crap out of the shadow. It's like that's just what UI design is. It's like,
and it looks gorgeous, by the way. What did you just do?
I made a little shadow under there.
I love that.
But I'm like, I'm changing the hex code. I'm changing the percentage. Like you kind of have to find
tweaks.
it to be just right.
That's gorgeous. Like that. Earlier I was like, but with that shadow, is so subtle. It's fantastic.
Might even need to make this a teeny
I'm a
bit
fan.
darker. Might be too dark.
So, and again, we're just doing the design. We could easily, we were in sort of prototyping mode a second ago, but that's the power of this is, obviously designing and then prototyping to answer that question.
And you can see, for those of you Julie is asking, where am I from? I'm from Athens, Georgia.
Georgia in the
I did
house.
not say that up front because I said it the last 2 days, but I probably should have. You can also go to...
And he's also a race car driver in his spare time.
And
as we learned.
I'm also the lead actor on Doctor Who.
The lead actor on Doctor Who.
Not really. But you can also learn more about me at mds.is/Matt. All about me.
Oh, /Matt.
Yes.
So mds.is. And I like how you spoke at Max recently. You put your demo files up there, all about XD.
Yep,
had multiple workshops and everything. So we're just super lucky to have you here, man. It is good.
All right, so you can tell we're looking at colors, typography, shadows, all the tiny little details. If we would have done this from the very, very beginning, we wouldn't know if our prototype works or not. But since we've already done some really low fidelity screens and we've kind of proved out the prototype, now we can spend our time not worrying quite as much about that. We may change a few things here and there, but overall we have our flow fleshed out. And now I'm going to start creating one of these kind of tiles. So actually, let me go over here. We need to, well, here, let me make it easier on myself. Move some of this stuff out of the way and pull up this screen over here. Now, you could very much change the elements inside of your low fidelity design to try to make your life quicker. You could turn that, you could change this button to a red and try to change, but sometimes you kind of need to build it again from scratch, so you're not limited with the existing elements. So I like to kind of use that as a reference while I'm rebuilding the UI.
I like it. And there could be some cases where you have somebody who's building out the wireframe, and then somebody that's designing it. So that might not even be your screen that you've designed.
That's right.
Yeah, very cool.
So let's go with.
So it is the same app, and I like this approach. It's actually been pretty fun. We have Amelie coming up at 11 a.m. by the way, so she's kind of been fleshing out the same app as well. And Digital Telepathy guys at 2 p.m. have been working on a different app each day. But there's two of them. We only have one mat,
right.
and we wish there were more mats, but I don't know if you could handle more than one mat. One's enough for everybody.
It would be so intense.
It would be intense. There is more than one Matt, and the other one's Doctor Who.
That's right.
Mike Bishop, what's up? Welcome, buddy. Good to see you again. It's nice to see. Actually, I'm wondering if there's anybody. Ravinder, I don't recognize your name. I'm curious if this is your first time joining us on Adobe Live. Any newcomers out there, we want to welcome you and have you tell us about your most embarrassing moment. I'm kidding. No, don't do that. It's a dumb question. It's dumb, like, why? It's an embarrassing moment. Anyways, welcome everyone. Good to see you, Mike.
All right, so I did a tiny bit of cheating before this session, and I went ahead and went to Adobe Stock, and I grabbed some assets. I grabbed some sandwiches, and I looked for ones that were all on a white background. I'm gonna grab these and use these for now, and I also did that with the bread, but we might do one of the toppings or the protein or something together. So if you're wondering where these came from, I just went on Adobe Stock and started grabbing them, but I didn't want to make you sit through that to get going. So I'm gonna.
And just really quick, while you're grabbing those images, I'm actually on Adobe Stock right now. I just typed in sandwich. You could see a couple of them. I really like this one here. It's pretty. This one's pretty cool. I like the depth of field. And I could just save a preview to my miscellaneous folder. So I'll click right there. Saves that preview. So if I go into, Photoshop or Illustrator or wherever, it will actually load in. And you can see right over here, this is my miscellaneous library. You can see it syncing right now, and there it is. Obviously, I'm in Photoshop because that's what I wanted to do, is kind of drop it in here and, do some tweaks to it. And notice how I said preview earlier? That's because obviously it has that watermark right there, which is perfect for our purposes. Right. All we need to do is, this is a prototype, and we don't want to purchase all these images until we know the client wants them. And
technically, if this is the San Francisco that does make these delicious sandwiches, we could photograph their sandwiches, or maybe they have their own sandwiches. But
mine would all have a bite taken out of them.
That's right. Mine would too. Mine would just be crumbs.
These are delicious. There was a sandwich there.
That's right.
Awesome.
But you don't want to necessarily let that stop you from designing your stuff, because that will sometimes motivate the clients to get on the ball with stuff. All right.
That looks like loaf.
It is a loaf.
Loaf.
I think I pulled from the wrong folder. Yeah, I was pulling from bread. Yeah. There's a sandwich.
That's like in Suicide Squad. What do you...
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh.
All right.
Now everybody's going to give you a hard time on not seeing it. That's pretty good.
So you can see I just dropped that file right onto the shape, and it masked it automatically. But sometimes you might not want to do that. So if you just bring in the image without the mask, and so let me put this guy over there. I might draw a square and then hit Command-Shift-M to mask that shape.
Command-Shift-M.
That's right. Or objects, mask with shape right there.
And that gives you a little more control, right?
Yeah, now I can kind of move it around. I can scale it or make it smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Double click in there.
And Mohammed, we will show you how to make a gradient, definitely. It's slightly hidden, and it's actually really powerful. I like how you make gradients in XD over any other Adobe app.
Nice.
Just
maybe we want to make a little, let's try out a gradient on this button right here. Let's pull the color up there. I'm going to go to fill. And instead of solid color right here on the color picker, I'm going to change that to gradient.
There we go.
And so it's taken, I'm not exactly sure how the algorithm works on this thing, but it seems like it's taken the flat color that I had and it's added a darker version. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but now I can start playing around with, in other apps, you're working in a dialog off to the side. Obviously, you're working right on the image. And you can add as many color stops as you want right on that line. You don't even need to go over there off to the side, by the way. Oh, yeah. You can just do it right there.
You can just click on it, but yeah. So something subtle, I like it.
If you wanted a great like teal
Bling.
tube going across the button.
You know, so many times I've needed that teal. You know
Teal
what this
tube.
needs? It needs a teal,
teal
tube.
tube on the right. So yeah, maybe I'll save that. I'll leave that in there for now. Yeah, maybe that's the pressed state of the button. Maybe we'll save that as our pressed state. We wouldn't necessarily be able to show that in the prototype without making it weird, but
You know what's funny about this? Like, even the whole layout as you're working on it is like, this is what my Illustrator files look like.
oh yeah,
Which is
stuff
like,
everywhere.
you have stuff outside
Oh, yeah.
of your artboard.
Teal tube, do not disrupt the design landscape with the teal tube.
Yeah, so Ryan, I'm glad you're joining us. Even the gradient is, so we're updating XD like on a monthly basis. So it's almost like we sneak these things in. That's why you might not have noticed it before, because it was just snuck in there maybe a month ago or something like that. So.
All right, let's
Teal
see.
tube is the new hotness. Just wait for it.
I
It's
think
gonna take the world by storm.
I might make these frames of these sandwiches have like a the same kind of like big chunky tile shape. We'll see how it goes. Same as the title bar. It might be too much overkill, but we will see.
So yeah, and Rick, just so you know, we launched Windows 10 version of Adobe XD just 2 days ago, and yeah, it might be missing the gradient, some other things, but we wanted to get it in your hands like ASAP, and again, look for it, being updated on the regular, if you will. Hey Ryan, we're gonna look at your prototype and have a good chuckle. Hey man, we're just glad you're like kind of diving in there. That's just all that matters, is you guys are jumping in there and trying things.
Use a shadow on the frame. Rick Boyer says that is exactly what I'm going to do. That's a good suggestion.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah, it's hard. It's actually hard to. There is a shadow on the frame currently, but for some reason, it's not showing up. Maybe it's because it's so light. It's currently like a 10% opacity. If I make it like much darker.
Okay, what you just did, that's the difference, honestly, between like new designer and like experienced designer.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. Like,
That's the person who just discovered drop shadows.
If you just discovered drop shadows, like,
and there's a place for it, sure.
Yeah, it's
But
like,
don't be that guy.
if you want to get, like, spend 4 hours on adjusting nothing but shadow opacity.
Yeah.
And you'll learn a lot about, like, take screenshots of all of your favorite apps and try to recreate the subtle shadows of buttons and text shadows.
And then if you want to get really tricky, is it even just such a standard mathematical thing, or do you make a ping file and bring it in?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well-
tricky. I mean, I think there's a good range, like the 10 to 20% is like a good place to be with like subtle UI details. And you may want to play with the big blur, or maybe it's like a very, very subtle, like tiny blur. Lots of things you can do. Should we round this? I'm trying to make it dark enough to where you can see it on the screen, but not too dark where it doesn't look horrible. I'll leave it there for now.
Yeah, and it's
I might round these edges a tiny bit.
Yeah, so mathematics, thanks for joining us again today. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, of course you can move things forward and back with shortcut keys. You do that a lot. Other people use the layers panel.
Yeah, you've got the layers panel up here. I used to be very, very meticulous when I designed all of my interfaces in Photoshop. I used to be very, very OCD about every small layer and the name of every layer. But in Illustrator, I never ever use layer names unless I was specifically saying like, okay, here's some guides, and it's like a very, very big general layer, but never individual objects. And now with all these artboards, I find that it takes time. It takes too much time for me to try to name everything. And so I don't even use the layers
Kinda hide
panel.
it.
I don't even use it.
Yeah, that's good. And hiding it keeps you from getting lost in naming all the layers.
That's
too.
All right, so let's see if I can match the rounded nature of this background shape by doing this disjointed rounded shadow. Oops, the wrong one.
So there's no Adobe XD export for After Effects. You can export out the images, of course, and bring those into After Effects and the screens, which you might have to do. I can't really say, Manny, what animation software or prototyping software is being phased out. It's definitely not XD. That's all I can say.
Maybe that's a little smaller. So I might want a little variety between the sandwich name and the price. And maybe that sandwich name is, maybe using Fat Frank for that sandwich name is too much. I might want to...
And then this is going to be interesting because whether, as you get into repeat grid and the actual names of the...
That's right.
Sandwiches.
So, and before I do that, like I don't want to get too, I like to stay broken a little bit from, like if I get too organized too quickly with repeat grid, which is an amazing function, I like to be able to, well actually, I guess I could have multiple instances of repeat grid. That would work too. I'm going to do that. But I like to be able to feel not confined yet. So
that's
let's
cool.
go ahead and group it, hit Command R to repeat this grid. I'm going to make my artboard a little longer.
So, so just so you know, Filippo, like sort of the workflow, since you get into like exporting, and we've had some of those questions. Essentially, you can export the images at, different 1 or 2 times their size or whatever. There's not going to be integration with Adobe Muse. I mean, there is in the case that you could just export images and bring them into Muse. But we're not generating any code or anything like that. It's really in the developer's hands, and the developers are typically just happy to have, hopefully all the decisions made and all of the graphics done, and then they get the assets and can go to work. So no code, no CSS, just the imagery.
All right, so maybe we'll leave this one as it is. It's not lined up perfectly yet, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. This one maybe we'll have a different layout. Maybe that'll be regular, and maybe the price is more important. Who knows? Let's see. Frank for the price. And also now is a good time to go back to my text file that I made for sandwich names and just drag the sandwich names onto the text. That way, we could have typed these all into the repeat grid earlier, but since we did it, whoops, that's bread, sandwich name. Since we set up these text files, we can keep reusing them, and now we can get a feel for what's going to happen when bacon, egg, and cheese needs to be on 2 lines versus beef on weck needs to be on 1. You can kind of account for those scenarios. Let's see here.
All right, so animated UI prototypes. There's no app that we're planning on to create around that. Hopefully XD is your answer. I think you might have been the same person that was asking about bringing that into After Effects. So After Effects is going to give you total control over those motions. There's also Adobe Animate CC that will also create the HTML like once you're done. So you can either go After Effects or Animate in terms of creating those interactions.
So one thing you have to be careful of on the repeat grid, you can see like I've got this big drop shadow on the background, and the blur is set to 20 pixels, so that means the blur is going to go 20 pixels outside of the background shape. But if you do a repeat grid, it's kind of masked along the edge, and so you can see on the repeat grid now my shadow is getting like, if you can see that, you can see like a hard edge cut there. You can make that a little darker so you can see. And that's obviously not exactly how we want it to be. So I'm going to kind of get in here and move this stuff over. So that's shift nudge once and then twice would move it down. And so I'm kind of moving the object inside of the repeat grid. And so now I've kind of added the 20 pixel border on the left and the right. So now my shadow is not going to get cut off as much. And then I can grab the whole repeat grid and move it over. And then I'll have to extend it here as well. And now that I'm seeing all of these items, the shadow is looking a little heavy. I'm going to tone it down a little bit. And I know that it's hard to see on the screen, but you'll just have to trust me. It's for the best.
For Auraria, does this interface haven't a planning? I don't. Essentially, we already have all the screens kind of planned out. Just so you know, we've been doing that the past couple days. Feel free to look at under replays in the lower right, and you can kind of see. You could even scrub through there just to see everything that Matt's done. But I like how you've made a lot of these decisions. Mm-hmm. You know, in terms of like sort of the user experience for the most part. And now we're at the designing phase, so it's quite fun to kind of see it all come together.
Just kind of tweaking these shadows and this repeat grid thing here.
Okay, so that's a first. That doesn't happen too often, by the way. John Anderson, my developers always ask for PSD files.
What's the best way of getting my XD wireframes to Photoshop? You don't really want to do that. Like, if your developers need PSD files, then you need to design in Photoshop. That's a problem that you need to solve before you start designing. Mm-hmm. You need to convince your developers that they need to get, XD files, because, you could do wireframes in XD and then do your interface design in Photoshop, but and a lot of people still use Photoshop. Photoshop is still a great software, but XD is paving the way for a new interface design tool. And if you want to use it for interface design, you're going to need to have those conversations with developers and your team up front. So yes, you're not really going to be like, okay, I've got all my XD stuff, now let's put them all in Photoshop. I mean, if you did want to do that, you could export all of the screens. Actually, I could have shown that yesterday. You can just go, I hit Command E to export, or you can go to File, Export, and I would go back to my review folder, and then I would create a date, 2016, 12.15, and then I would say UX screens. And then it gives you a few choices here, and the format can either be a PNG, an SVG, or a PDF. I'm just going to do PNG, designed at 1x. You can change it to web, and it says, okay, now the selected assets will export at 1x and 2x. That'll give you like the 375 pixel version, and it'll also export the 750 pixel wide version. In case you need both screen sizes. But for now, I'm just going to hit design. I'm going to export all artboards. And then you can see inside of the review folder, here's all of the screens that we designed. And if you wanted to bring these into Photoshop, you could do that and design over the top of those there. I don't think that's what you were asking, but if you wanted to get these in there, that's one way to do it. Okay, back to the design. All right, I'm just looking at these, and I'm kind of thinking that, trying to make my decision on the typeface here, changing my viewport scrolling height so it appears full screen on my phone. Do you want to GoPro it one more time, and we'll see how we're gonna check out these designs on our phone?
We will GoPro it.
GoPro it. I've got some weird. I moved something wrong here. Yeah. So if you look now, actually, let me set this down. So I can click on these different artboards, and you can see like bacon, egg, and cheese. You know, I'm trying to decide if I want to go with the subtle, like lighter, the lighter text on the names, or maybe the Fat Frank version.
Oh, I mean that at least on the screen, on the stream, it really pops.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking the fat, beefier version.
Yeah,
for the name.
it's just like it's easier.
And the name is a little more subtle, and you could even play with the type size a little bit. Right now, this is like right at 16 points, and this is something that you really, really want to do. You need to look at this on your phone while you're designing, because when you're zoomed in, a 14 weight font is going to look, or 14 point size font is going to seem gigantic on your screen. But you'll notice like in a lot of the UI kits, like Apple iOS, all of these existing.
Oh, sorry.
No, yeah.
That just flipped me out. It just tripped me out there. I was like, wait.
Yeah, so
I didn't go into settings.
Now I'm previewing the iOS kit on.
And that's what he does. Like,
XD.
it's not. I can't click on Wi-Fi.
That's
Wi-Fi
right.
is not working.
Wait a second. So like most of these like notifications and all this stuff, that's all 17 point font, and so it seems large on the screen, but when you're viewing it on the phone, you know, like look at my fingertip and then look at the text size. You know, it's important to test that out. Like very rarely would you go below 16, 17 for your font size. 17.
Yeah, and you've been doing around. You might do 16, which is 17 is such an odd. You know, it is an odd number, but you know,
it's literally
odd,
and figuratively an odd number
on many levels. So.
All right, so I think I will kill this one and that one. Well, let's don't kill it. Let's be kind. Show some mercy on these screens.
Yeah, and what are you working on now? You're just working on the type right now. Are you done with the images?
Let's change out these images. I'm tired of looking at that sandwich.
And and that's just like one approach. What if you had that image cover the whole square, like it was zoomed in?
Yes, you could go. I didn't create a mask. I got rid of my mask somehow. So I'm gonna copy the background shape. So this is what's going on here. I'm gonna click the shape. Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and now I'm gonna take the shadow off of that shape. I'm gonna nudge this thing over just so I can see. You can even change the color so you can see it more easily. So this is gonna be my mask. This is the object that I'm going to mask. So I'm gonna shift click that, hit Command Shift M to mask. Now I'm gonna double click on this thing again that I just masked, and then move that back into the correct location and click out of it. So now this thing is actually masked, and if I make it larger now,
yeah, like go big,
super big.
Like I mean, that looks like what? That's odd. Look at, I totally want that. Like that kind of. That's just kind of cool. Anyway.
So yeah, let's throw this over here into the land of possibilities.
If you guys have ideas, we are watching the hashtag Adobe Live on Twitter. So let's just. Thank you. Kelsey submitted something. That's so cool to see. Submitted a holiday gift planner, which is really cool. What the heck is that? That's for your girlfriend.
You can dance, Paul.
Yeah. It's the third day, guys. We're getting loose. Come on, Matt. You hear it.
We're just going to do a little head bob.
Work it.
Is that allowed?
What's going on? Congratulations to Kelsey, who submitted a design holiday gift planner. Can we take a look at it, just for fun? Work it.
Look at the lasers in the background. We do some like. Is
like,
music playing?
I'm gonna be the guy with the little glow sticks.
Beatbox? Yeah.
The guy with the glow sticks. Or things on his fingers. All right. So Kelsey just submitted this Kelsey Newhouse holiday gift planner, which quickly made this morning. Made it on Windows, which is awesome. Everything drawn in XD. I like this, by the way. The sign in. right?
Very nice.
Through social media.
Very nice, Kelsey.
Looks really good. Oh, she did the same thing that you were doing, which is the subtle
Oh yeah,
subtle
look at those
drop
subtle
shadow.
buttons. Subtle drop shadow.
Spot on. You're hired.
This is not her first UI design. She's done this before.
You're right. So good. Look at that. So we'll just go to the next one. Gift wrapping.
Mm-hmm.
Do-it-yourself gift wrapping ideas, which I love it. Like, seriously, I'm all into, like, creating patterns. And there's actually companies out there like Spoonflower where you can, like, print your own gift wrapping and stuff like that. So, and then just watch them tear it apart.
That's right.
So, yeah, screen 2. Seems pretty easy to read. Great images. Fantastic job. And then she did a slide out menu from the side.
Ooh.
So, and yeah, she's definitely knows what she's doing. And then there's a screenshot of all of her screens. Yeah, love the colors, love the simplicity, love those snowflakes as well. So Kelsey did a fantastic job. Really appreciate that. We will be giving away Creative Cloud, 1 year Creative Cloud to some of these people that submit their designs, which is super cool. So, Kelsey, if you're in the house, well, there you are. Fantastic. You're hired, right? 'Cause you did a great job. All right.
All right, still tweaking
done
over here.
yet?
It's
No,
not done. This is
You know
why
what?
I don't start
I want
here.
my sandwich.
This is why I don't start here, because we would be on day 3 and I would still be designing this one screen, tweaking the typography, getting down into the details.
And you had to actually, you know what, you're moving fast today. You're making more deliberate decisions, but you didn't get lost in any of the details the first 2 days because you know what I'm saying? It's easy to get lost in these details of the drop shadow and spend 2 hours.
Absolutely. And it is important,
off to you.
but you also want to make sure that you're getting into the details at the right time. And let's get some new sandwiches up in here. I'm going to select all of these sandwiches.
Ooh, good job.
So, because I have, look at that.
Got a couple.
Some good SF Witchco's coming in. You can just make sure that you drop it into the right thing. I've got a background shape, I have a mask, and I have an image. So if I did it there, it would be wrong. See, that didn't even show up because the image is covering it. So you want to make sure that you're dropping it right on that shape right there. So now we have, look at that. Look at all these delicious sandwiches.
It masked it. It didn't get confused between the mask and the image.
And so now I can check out these images here. High five.
I just like that, man.
And now
easy.
what's cool too is I can get in here and change the size of that image inside of the mask and change all of them at once. So if we wanted white space around everything, maybe we want to decrease our vertical padding here.
Yeah, we should actually, we'll probably do we'll do a quick giveaway here in like 5 minutes or so. That sounds good.
I need to wake up my robot.
Yeah. This little, Michael has a little robot that actually picks the winner. So
Is it called Little Michael?
could be
It's called Nightbot.
Nightbot.
Can you call it? Can you rename
He
it?
just wants to grow up and be a daybot, but
He's
he's a
too old.
nightbot.
He's too old. It would be too much of a life change.
He was a little Yamaguchi. Started out. Before that, he used to be just a calculator, and he's grown up into full.
Then he was a scientific calculator.
And he was a scientific
Got his
calculator.
graphing equations on.
And we're like, whoa, you're growing up too fast. All we need you to do is pick a random user. That also has hit subscribe, by the way. So make sure you're subscribed because that actually increases your odds of winning. So, yeah, you guys are great, man. I like what has been submitted too. I see a couple of designs that have been submitted for your app, which is cool.
Ooh.
I like this.
Can't wait to see it.
Man. Just a quick shout out to Ahmed El Hamzo and Dinesh. I see your designs, my friend. And we'll be revealing those here in a little bit. Dinesh wants to win. I wonder how we're going to do the winner. Probably just maybe randomly based on the chat. We also have the contest. We have even these logos. We'll probably just do it randomly. And Carol and Dinesh, honestly. Manassas. Awesome. Is it Tamagotchi? Or
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi. I said Yamaguchi, who's an ice skater.
All right, I have an important announcement to make.
Dinesh, your design is dope. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm starting on this like light colored gray text. One thing that I notice a lot of very like young UI designers sometimes, especially if you're coming from the graphic design world, as I did, and I made these mistakes year after year, you might try this like super light, choose an existing sandwich color, and I have that misspelled. But one thing that you can do to safeguard yourself against that, there's a little thing called accessibility, and sometimes people don't have perfect 20/20 vision. Sometimes people are colorblind. Sometimes, you can see certain colors or certain contrasts. So there's a lot of different sites you can do to check the contrast and the accessibility of text on backgrounds. Hey, everybody's making fun of me about sandwich. I fixed that. Come on, guys. It's hard to do both of this at the same time.
Agreed. You ever work on a design and realize the letters, like the logo, it's
all the time.
Misspelled?
Oh, yeah. We'll do like a lot of typos just to kind of troll everyone. But back to the color contrast. I'm going to go to the web and type in colorable, not .com because that's some domain squatter, but there's a website by a guy named Brent Jackson. And if you just search for colorable on Google, you can see this website come up. And there's a, I'm going to get this wrong, like WGAC organization that kind of puts together the accessibility ratings. And so you can see if I do foreground as 00 and the background as FF, that's like white on black. It's a rating of 21% contrast, or not percent, it's just a score of 21. And you can see if I start making the background lighter, the contrast ratio is going down. So AAA accessibility is as high as you can get. Now I've done work for banks like Wells Fargo and some other people, and they have some brand standards that say their accessibility needs to be at least AA. So if you get down below AAA, AA would still pass for certain people with certain levels of color blindness disabilities. And you can see like you can get kind of subtle, 4.56, that's still a AA contrast. And this all assumes that you're below 18 points on the font scale. AA large means that you're 18 points or higher, and so you get down into the darker, you're starting to fail accessibility contrast. And so it's always good to test your typography. I know that this white on this red is going to pass, but we can test it anyway. So this is pure white on this red. Watch it fail and I'll be made a fool. So foreground is white and my background is this red color. So this is only a AA accessibility rating. Rahul says, what is AAA? AAA is just hey, look, it's Eric Hoffman.
Yeah?
I know that guy. Kind of.
Hey,
We're
Eric.
Twitter friends.
Good to see ya.
So what is AAA? AAA is just the rating that this is as high as you can get for accessibility contrast. You can do a lot of research on it, but AAA is good, or the best. AA is good. AA large, as long as your fonts are not too small, that can still work. But so I'm just checking again the primary call to action. It's a AA rating. That's good enough for me for this. If I wanted to make it darker and go AAA, I could just increase the darkness of this hex color until I got to AAA, now I can copy and paste this hex code back in. You could see the difference in those two things. But that's going to be really a lot darker. It's going to change the feel a good bit. So this is AAA, this is AA, and I'm gonna stay with my AA score.
And I think here, this is even a more interesting situation because you don't want these two titles to fight.
That's
in
right.
In terms of your read
That's
order.
right. So this one, I can almost assure you is going to fail right now, just barely. So I'm gonna grab the background color, and even though it looked, I mean, that's a pretty decent contrast if you have good vision. I used to have 20/20 vision. Staring at the computer screen for all these years might be a little bit worse than that. So I'm gonna paste my background color in here, and then grab my text color here and paste it into the foreground. Okay, and so this is only AA large. So this means if my typeface is 18 points or higher, I could use this. Since I'm right at 16 points on this design, so if I want to change, I don't want the background to be too much darker, so I'm going to change the foreground, which is this text, and just slide this thing back a tiny bit. I mean, I barely made a change there. But now I have a new hex code I can grab and paste this thing in there. And it made just a subtle difference, and now I know for sure this passes AA accessibility standards.
And you can save that.
Save that as a color swatch. I'm going to change this one as well.
What's your opinion on dark text on a light background or light text on a black background?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on what you're designing. So I designed for Adobe Max, Max XD. Come on, here's the folder. So I designed a time traveling app for the workshop, and this was very much a nearly black background with very this is light gray, this is white, and I wanted this to feel very like futuristic. I have some hot spots that I added in here for the demo. But I wanted this to feel like futuristic. Sometimes it's hard to read, but sometimes if you lead with a really dark, it's kind of, it's almost like more dramatic, presentational. It kind of depends. If someone's going to be reading a long blog post, you're going to get a lot of eye fatigue if you're trying to. Eric Hoffman. Matt, totally off topic. I promise I won't interrupt again. But what's the watch you're wearing? This is the Garmin Forerunner 235. I can't remember. Maybe we'll do a GoPro of it later. I'll chat with you on Twitter about it later.
Runner. Awesome.
Yeah, so sometimes dark interfaces work. I actually really like dark interfaces, but they have their place. It's kind of like make a prototype and test it and get 5 people's opinions on it, and that'll give you a better something to go on than my opinion, because I'm not the user of your app. Or maybe I am. Let me know.
Adobe Creative Cloud really likes the Spotify UI, which is dark.
Yeah, I love Spotify, and they're dark.
And then you can go jump into Twitter, and it could be either or.
That's right. All right, so I've got somewhat of a build a custom sandwich or choose an existing sandwich.
I like it, man.
And I'm saying sandwich twice on here, and it's kind of bothering me. So I'm going to change this to be build your own or choose an existing sandwich. Like, you could make it a little more fun. I think build your own is kind of a fun, little bit of a shorter thing.
I mean, you're obviously at in a sandwich app. I don't know what else you'd be building.
That's right. I mean, who knows? And look at that Y. That's a pretty sweet little cut on the Y. It's like almost like a smiley face. There you go. Jinx. Can't talk for the rest of the stream. Just kidding. Okay, let's duplicate this. There's still some things I want to tweak. Like, I'm not 100% happy with these big blocky tiles, but it's good enough for now. And I can scroll this thing and check it out on my phone. I'm going to duplicate the artboard just to create like a selected version. Let's see. I might try. So I'm gonna break this grid apart. Sometimes it's hard to do a lot of fine manipulation inside of the grid. So I'm gonna break it apart with Command-Shift-G and maybe move some of this over. Let's see. What am I gonna do here? Just gonna start experimenting with some different selected states. I could make a big red border. I could make like a pressed drawer kind of feel. So I'm just gonna play around with it.
Build your own San Franwich.
That's right.
Manassas likes dark. That's cool. And honestly, it might just depend on the content, because if you want the content to really pop, you know,
That's right.
maybe dark would work. Oh, thank you. Awesome. Looks like we have a link on Adobe XD, the user voice site that Mike just posted, which is really cool. So.
Oh, nice.
And that's just a great resource. It's under the help menu in Adobe XD. You can obviously see where feature requests are, bugs, all that fun stuff.
So blending mode, I forgot. Blending mode is not currently supported on XD. Normally I would set this sandwich image to multiply just to quickly knock out that white background.
Hey, you want me to knock it out?
Why don't you knock it out? Why don't you knock it out for me?
Teamwork. And yeah, when you get a second in...
Why don't I throw my
can you put it in the prototyping
images
folder?
into the prototyping folder?
Let's
see here. Let's give you bread and sandwiches.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Throw them in there.
And if you care, there's 2 logos by some people that have created some stuff. So Ahmed, yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And Dinesh.
Yeah, Dinesh.
There we go.
Delicious. It's pretty dope.
I like that.
Yeah, and you know what? It feels fast to me.
Let's throw it in there. Yeah, speedy.
Yeah. There you are, buddy.
Put it over there for the time being.
Thank you, Ahmed and Dinesh. Fantastic. See you guys. Try this out. My type of people where you're just like, you know what? I just gotta try this.
Gonna get rid of the multiple shapes here. Sometimes if you create something, not sure, maybe this was what this created in. Sometimes if you import an SVG, there's like multiple layers. You want to kind of make sure that it's nice and tidy.
But yeah, obviously you can manipulate the vectors all day long.
That's right.
Good,
if I wanted to move these points over here, make a little thing. There we go.
That even has I'm seeing smiley faces everywhere now.
It's very smiley. All right, let's get back in here. All right, let's bring back in what I had just to make it a little quicker and put a big border on that thing. I'm gonna make my fill 0% so I can still choose that shape. And once you get some of those knocked out, I'll do another one with the kind of recessed indentation thing. So let's do a border.
I'm hurrying.
Come on, Paul.
I just got them. I
Get
just
it
got
together,
the images.
man.
Get to work.
What am I paying you for?
I know, right? I'm making all this money here, sitting here, working with you. Properties panel. All right.
Got some transparency going on over there.
Oh yeah. I'll hurry.
And
I
think that's going to be better than this. Like, I mean, obviously this works, but it's kind of expected, maybe ever so slightly, not boring, but maybe that's a word I could use. You know, I did that quickly for the wireframes because it was easy to explain what's happening. But I think it could be cooler if it was like some kind of chunky effect.
So, yeah, to answer the question, how often we'll be doing this? Well, as often as you guys want us to, but chances are we would love to do these type of sessions like twice a month from different parts of the world. Most likely places where we have studios, which would be in like France, basically Paris and San Francisco. So
Yeah, feel free to bug these guys if you want to see me in France or if you want to see me in Australia. You know, I'll go anywhere these guys want. So just bug these guys to send me there.
We want Matt. And
it's all for you. It's all for you. This is a completely selfless request.
Yeah, of course. Of course, my friend.
All right, so maybe this selected thing, one option could have like this giant drop shadow.
So Stateflow, yeah, thank you for answering that, Mike. You can share your designs with us. We're watching the hashtag Adobe Live, so that's how we got Dinesh's and Ahmed's designs, yeah, so that's what we are doing right now. All right, and it's okay if I label them something different because these file names are kind of crazy. I'll show you a cool little feature in a little bit as soon as I get this set up. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Someone say giveaway?
Give a what?
Give it away now.
I like those phrases that you hear and immediately you're playing the song in your head because that's what was happening.
So anything to get all of these Christmas jingles out of my head, like walking around downtown San Francisco.
Yeah.
I've had so many songs. I don't want to embarrass myself by trying to sing them right now, but some Red Hot Chili Peppers in there.
Yeah, and that's a great idea, guys. If you just subscribe, and you have notifications turned on, say on your phone and stuff, like that's one way of getting notified when we're going live. So, and again, we have some cool sessions lined up that I'm excited about, all sorts of topics. So,
all right, I'm gonna get into. So this is one possible selected state. We'll do maybe another one after we get some transparent images. Now I'm going to move on to what one of these interior screens looks like with choose bread next, choose one, all that good stuff. I may steal that arrow and then do some stuff to it.
Yeah, and we'll do a giveaway. I'll give you these images, and then we will do a giveaway.
All right.
While we're doing the giveaway, you can just kind of drop these in. Hurry. Boss is knocking on the door. He's like, where are my images? And I'm like, I will show you the fastest way to knock out images. Yeah, so Ryan, we could have, we could have lettering sessions. We could have compositing sessions, illustration as well. So, all the hot topics. And we're looking to hear from you.
But this will happen every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
For sure.
That is a promise we're making to you.
What's gonna happen?
As long as you guys show up,
yeah,
we will have these events.
All right, I tried this like big chunky arrow. I'm not really feeling it. It's like a big thing on top of a big thing. It's kind of it's too much. And I actually, you know what? My shadows are all wrong. Did I not learn anything in art school? My light source is coming from the top. So technically the shadow needs to be like that.
Boom.
I still don't like it.
Hmm.
Let's get rid of that guy. Well, let's put him over here. And bring this one back over.
All right, cool. I'm ready. If you're tweaking that arrow, I'm ready to give you some of these sandwiches and show you how to do those quickly,
All right.
if you don't mind.
I'll tweak the arrow over here.
So,
I'm going to switch to
yeah.
Paul. Doing some transparency stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, it gave me these images. I actually used Bridge, and I selected them all, and I load them into Photoshop layers is what I did, because I wanted everything in one file. I actually want them all to have the same dimensions in this case. And then once I'm in Photoshop, here they all are. You know, honestly, just use Magic Wand. Boom. Did it quick. Guess what? All these files, I just named them, you know, 1.png or JPEG or GIF, right? I can make it the quality, say 20%, or make it half the size. There's a lot of things I can do, but all I'm doing is naming all those layers. Okay, once that's done, and again, let's be mindful of where this folder, where this file is. Right in here. Here is my my file is right here. So it's going to generate a new folder automatically and kick out all those images. All right. In fact, I'll just scoot this over and we can watch it make it. So all I need to do is turn it on. Once I have those layer names named, generate image assets. Click. Go over here. Wait for it to appear. Bing. Brrr. There's all the images.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. And they're syncing to the same folder inside of the Creative Cloud files folder. So these are going to appear on his desktop. Yeah, there's no need to email or zip or do any of that stuff. And they're syncing now. So that's kind of the fastest way to knock out images. And mind you, since I'm actually already here, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Oh, thank you, because I got stuff to talk about.
I can even you'll notice the layers panel.
The layer,
right
yeah, right
here.
above. Yeah, so we're
designs are
expanding
over there.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this.
This layer,
logo.
sandwich
This
with
one.
bacon, you'll
This
see
one.
is rectangle 1.
Right. We're gonna export those out. So if
We've
you could
got
just
a,
grab that with your hands.
We've got a gradient layer pattern
Oh,
coming in from
sorry.
the northeast,
Yeah.
swelling through. Oh, the wrong way.
If you could just select the copy SVG, right?
Yeah, let's see,
Oh
where
wait,
is it?
sorry, it's right here.
Oh,
Click. Got
we
it.
go.
Thanks
All
you.
right,
Thank
got
you
the
for
logo.
selecting that.
There we go.
But I did right click and did a copy SVG. So I don't necessarily need to export out images that way, but I can just do a copy, those assets, paste, there it is. So that's how you do that magic, huh? Fantastic.
Boom.
Boom and boom. All right, let's do a giveaway, huh? Are you
Let's do
working?
it.
You
Let's
okay?
do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, you guys want to do a giveaway? You guys want one Creative Cloud for 1 year? Yeah. So
Can I enter into the contest myself?
you can.
I will.
I'm not
recluse.
it's up to
recuse.
it's up to Nightbot.
I'm gonna recuse myself.
It's up to little baby Nightbot. It's not. I'm not picking. So,
Keyword.
yes. So the keyword.
Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah. What you got?
Because this is the last day of the event.
Mm-hmm.
They have to write a sentence, something very nice about Matt.
Oh,
Feel
how
the love.
Good. Oh, that is so kind of you,
Ah.
Michael. I'm getting ready for
We're
this.
doing kind words and phrases for Matt since
But they need to add Matt.
add
Matt is the
Matt. Matt is the key word.
Or MDS.
MDS is
Let's do it.
awesome.
Let's go with MDS. It's
MDS
more web
needs a hug
appropriate.
because he's fantastic, and we pulled him away from his family and his 4 kids.
And,
Nice things. The key word is Matt, so it has to include that word, Matt.
Matt or MDS?
Oh, we could do both, Matt or MDS. Cool.
Whatever.
Give Matt a sub.
And they should subscribe.
I don't know if you mean sub sandwich or the subscription, but either way.
Yeah. I'll
It
take
works.
either one.
Matt is the man.
Yeah.
Matt is in it.
You should subscribe.
Oh yeah, hit the subscribe button lower left if you're on adobelive.com because that's increases your chances. So make that happen. Click that button. Say something nice about Matt. Keyword being MATT or MDS.
Oh, I need to just soak this
Matt-tastic.
in. I'm just gonna watch the screen here. You guys can't see this, but I'm watching the
And I
comments.
can feel him just like right here.
Thank you,
It's
Joshua.
hitting him right here. Boom. He's the best Shadow Master. I don't know if you're
Want the MDS pins. All right. Matt is
fantastic.
I'm the meth of XD. I don't know if that's a good thing or
I
a
don't
bad
know.
thing.
Yeah. They're hooked.
I'd make
In
a
other
great
words,
weather
you're
girl
addictive.
or weather man. Weather person.
Matt for president. Matt. All right, that's good stuff, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like just feel it. Just feel all warm and tingly all over. Kinda,
I'm
I don't
feeling
know
very
what that
tingly.
means.
Very
You probably just need
tingly.
to go to the bathroom. That's what it is.
It
don't
actually
know.
is because
Been drinking.
I've been drinking my LaCroix knockoff over here.
And the winner is Skills Neon. Skills Neon.
All right.
Skills Neon.
Skulls Neon to translate. That's joking. Skulls Neon, and I'm sure he's gonna type that in. Watch for that creative. Skulls Neon. Just we need to hear from you. Be like, yeah, awesome. Matt, you're fantastic because you basically hooked me up.
Matt gave birth to a unicorn.
Oh yay!
That sounds horrible.
Skulls Neon. Skulls Neon. What do? You just say yippee, and watch for a message from Creative Cloud. Basically, you'll be contacting, I think, M. Shays.
He said, "Oh snap! I won."
Yes, you did. Contact Michael Shays on Twitter, M. Shays, Chaize, 1 year Creative Cloud. And if you already have Creative Cloud, it extends it for a year. Guys, we're going to be giving this away like roughly every hour, so we're just glad you guys are here. And yeah, so super cool. Congratulations, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Skulls Neon. I just picture a big skull with a big old smiley face. Just happy.
Oh, we're back on my screen here. All right, so while we were doing the contest, I made a little title bar for my interior screen. And so you can see you always want your back button to be pretty contextual, so I just did an abbreviation, SFW, back to this home screen, kind of setting this as the title. And I have my grayed out next text. And now I did make this quite light. I know that this probably fails accessibility, but it's not actionable right now, and I'm kind of torn as to whether or not placeholder text should be like 100% accessible in this particular context, because we're going to change it as soon as it's ready. I'm definitely not giving any clear directive or mandate on what you should do right there. So for now, I'm just going to make it super light gray. And then I'm going to copy my main call to action button right there. Bring it over here. And turn this into this kind of button.
It's looking good, man. Looking good. Let's do this with you. All right, you're getting it from all social media angles.
Oh yeah.
So
Plastering.
Adobe Live as well, kind of this side of the camera, essentially. Hashtag Adobe Live. There you are, buddy. Working on a next button. What is next? I wonder.
Amélie Lemon.
And that's our view. And yes, as you can see, yeah, Amélie Lemon is up next. I finally mastered her name after two and a half days, and yeah, she's up in about 20 minutes. And Talon from the XD team, it's going to be good stuff. And in terms of asking questions and getting feedback from you, if you go into XD under the help menu, that's how you do that. So again, we're going to just be live here the rest of the day today. So yeah, just totally hang out.
Alright, little next button. Probably need to bring that size down a smidge. A smidge is a tiny amount for those of you not from the South.
Are you still using Fat Frank?
That's
Is
Fat
that
Frank.
Okay.
I'm still rocking it. Frank and his fatness. All of his glorious fatness. This will be...
Amelie is going to be doing some... She's working on an app as well, so we'll see that kind of...
All right, I was
refined today.
thinking I wanted to use this thing again, but just like with that arrow, the doubled, like the meaty UI title bar on top of this like next, this next button, you know, that's just not quite working for me. So I think these will be more like surface level. Like there's this kind of chunky title bar and then these flat buttons on top. I feel like that's looking better on my phone here.
This is so nice, man.
Yeah, there we go. That's looking pretty decent.
All right, I need to cut out all the bread images now too.
All right, let me not squander Paul's handiwork with these PNGs. So now I've got these nice PNGs. I'm going to drag these in instead. And now make the size a little bit different there. Oops, I'm changing that wrong. I might have dropped those onto... Oh, I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to decline that. I don't know anyone from Chicago at the moment. Let's see. So that's the mask. Let me get rid of that for now. And bring up these images again. So not much is going to change here. We've got some kind of
That's
a
cool.
bread thing going on.
Yeah,
So now I can see if
I wonder how that one got cropped.
Oh,
Anyways, it
what
might be a
happened
different size. It's probably my file. I made all the files the same size.
there? Okay. Your hoagie's not cropped, but I know I think it's probably because it's not inside of a mask, maybe. I'm not gonna worry about it. Technical detail, not that important right now. So now I can, let's kill this grid again. Gonna make it smaller, hit Command Shift G, delete these extra ones, because we can always hit Command R again. And you know, actually some of the same pictures, and sometimes your text files will kind of get left over, and they will continue to populate. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it will remember the images and the text. I mean, for the most part.
All right, so now let's try.
And whether that looks better or not is kind of up for debate, I guess.
Yeah.
Because is it floating there too much?
Yeah, who knows? I think what we might do is we might go.
You know what I think would look good?
Use the same 4-pixel thing and maybe knock it down. What do you think?
I think if you just gave it a base and made it look like it's on a table, so it's like transparent on the like if that white from there to there.
White
like it's sitting on a table.
Oh.
Could be wrong. I'm not the designer here. I'm just a commentary. So, all right. So, and then what we will do, by the way, since we are getting down to our last like 10 minutes, we will post a link of this prototype. And we're asking a lot of this guy.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm going to have to postpone this second.
Veto all that. Yeah.
I'm going to have to veto that for just a second, just so I can get going on this prototype. It's going into lightning fast mode here.
Work it.
Let's go into the breads. Bread. Here we go. All these breads. Get in my bread text.
You're using Windows, Adobe XD on Windows. There is paragraph text. If you can make a paragraph, format the text in a paragraph block.
Bread.
I haven't done it, and we do have a Windows machine coming shortly. You know, you can make paragraph versus just like title text. Click and drag. Yeah.
I would check.
All right, Stateflow. I will look for your design. That's a great idea. I see Marco's. I don't know if Stateflow, if you are Marco on Twitter. We have a couple more. Oh, Dennis also has a sandwich logo.
We're still working on a textile enhancement on Windows.
Text. Okay, so textiles, all of that, that's coming to Windows. So soon, my friend. Cool.
Sure,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the
So,
one.
so we have a couple more logos from Dennis, and Marco made a little design as well. So yeah, let's take a look at some of these. So real fast, thank you so much. And I'm just scrolling down. We've seen these two. Thank you guys. We have this one from Dennis. Good. Hey, why not? SWF Co. McSands. Smiley face. Jokes. Get it? Ooh, little modification using Fat Frank, and that's what's kind of nice because it's he's probably a Creative Cloud member, has access to Fat Frank, and kind of messed with the logo too.
Can you review this one?
Yeah, certainly. Delaware made a quick login prototype at XD. Awesome. So yeah, this works as well. I actually really like that color. I kind of dig that color. It's like actually has a hint of green in it. It looks like it doesn't have any other designs, so I'm looking forward to seeing more there. So Delaware, that was cool. Our Reford T is working on, it looks like it's called Jingle. Ooh, I kind of dig that font. I mean, it's kind of hard to read that as a J, but I'm kind of digging that font style. So good stuff for those. Oh, we accept the very basic to the most advanced. And I just clicked on that link, and yeah, so I'll worry about that later. Essentially, looks like it should link out. So nonetheless, guys, keep them coming through Adobe Live, the hashtag Adobe Live. You can post just like Matt's going to do here in a second, is he's going to, share it with the world. Ooh, this is beautiful. Laura H. I like that as well. Nice colors. And let me just, she says, super hope I win. She needs it. Let's go into these. Can you switch back to me if you don't mind? So, again, this is Laura H. I don't know if you're still on with us, but it looks like we have 8 different screens, so I can click through. My holidays, create one now, click. Makes sense. Type in the holiday name, the date. If there's a destination, click create. Can see all the upcoming past ones, right? And we have, 10 days left. Actually, it's funny. Let me go back real fast. Notice how if I click over here, it highlights in blue the places that are active. So again, let's take a look at our checklist for that next holiday. I'll click again, and you can see it's asking me, hey, boom. Good job. There's a lot of work that went into this. We have 8 different screens. You don't have to do as many as 8 screens, but I really appreciate you really thinking this out. Again, save this as a template as well. So you've really thought through this. And yeah, I really appreciate you, Laura. I really hope you win as well, just to be honest. But I want everyone to win. And that's why I can't be a businessman. It's like, you get free sandwiches for everyone. So...
All right, I'm going to steal some of these meat slices out of Adobe stock. I'm just going to drag these into my folder. Find the ones that don't look like disgusting raw meat and find the ones that look like something you could potentially eat, straight out of the picture. More bacon.
I could have done that for you, my friend.
I know. I didn't have the foresight to ask you for it.
Oh, it's okay. I'm right here. Just here.
What's cool about this too, some of these images have black background, some of these have white, but it's like, oh, what if I just want to find similar images here? So now it's going to use that as like the base, so now I can find different.
And even if you had an image on your desktop, you can drag it in and search to.
If I had, look at that pristine desktop though, I have no images there.
Glorious.
I put all of my junk into a to-do folder, so you wouldn't be bombarded with that. Let's do one more. These are all kind of looking pretty raw. That's good. That's good. We need to hurry up here.
Yeah, Will Andrews, you can use these screens and like you can use any screens you want in your portfolio. I think the question has come up whether it's like, you know, a fictitious company or not. I don't think the client really cares as long as they see what you've done, Matt. Cause
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like I will post these on, you know, online later and say, hey, I was doing this thing, and you know, as long as you can show that you've worked through a problem, it's not just some type of you know, it's one thing to say, hey, look at these new designs, but it's another to kind of articulate the problems you were solving and why you made the decisions.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Protein selected. I saw someone say yuck. You don't like wet, cold, raw meat? Just like, you know?
You know what? Considering it's wet, cold, raw meat, it actually looks really good in the interface. Like,
That's
it's
right.
the cleanest,
That's right.
you know, that it's looking, you know what? Good job on the color choices.
There you go.
Because it all looks good together.
So bread goes there. This would be back to bread. That would be back to bread as well. I'm going to wire up this prototype and try to get this shared within the next 5 minutes before we have to conclude our third and final day here.
Okay, cool.
Control tab.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, let me check.
Slide
Yeah,
left.
that link that I clicked on did not. See, this is the thing. It's just a little, case in point. Ryan posted a link. He actually went into the prototypes folder, and when he posted that link, it actually mapped to my prototypes folder. He just sent a general prototypes folder. It's not
Yeah.
a link to his actual assets. So what you need to do is, like, if you go back to that link, Ryan, click on the prototype that you want to show. There it is, and then send that link. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But don't send me a link to your whole prototypes folder, to the specific prototype.
Slide right is what we want to do here. Go back.
Man, thank you, Sammy, for being here. Fallen in love with the creative industry. Welcome to a lot of sleepless nights, because our wheels are always turning. That's what I feel.
Let the wheel keep on turning. I don't know the name of that song, but
Wheel in the sky.
God, there you go. We need some we need Michael back to DJ for us.
That's right. So hashtag is Adobe Live. So
All right, we'll slide this one to the left. And all right, so the prototype's working. I'm gonna make a quick ending screen just to try to resolve this stuff. All right.
yay. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and we're down to like the last minute, my friend.
All right.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Protein. Go back. There will be no next. I'll add a little message here for you.
As we're signing off, oh yeah,
Hit me up.
hit him up. We're gonna post that. Don't worry, we're gonna post that in the chat, so you'll be able to check out this link. And all he's gonna do is hit that button in the upper right for basically sharing. So you guys can add comments. He'd love to see that. We definitely appreciate Matt. We're all getting a little choked up right now. Hopefully, he just at least hangs out in the
emotional.
studio with us. And that's good. So, all right, guys. Matt, I guess we're
Later on, I will post this.
5 minutes. Amelie, stick around. Amelie,
Amelie Lamont, come on,
Amelie-
man. We've been practicing.
all
See
right.
you later.
Adobe Live.
I'll see you
On
on the
Adobe
internet.
Live and on AdobeLive.com, and hit subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much, Matt. Yeah, we love you. You're
Thank
fantastic.
you, Paul.
Yeah.